YouTube, y'all couldn't hear me. Can y'all hear me now? YouTube, y'all couldn't hear me. Y'all couldn't hear me on YouTube and Facebook and stuff. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Great. Alright. IG, what's up? I had to get YouTube. Y'all can hear me now? I always forget what's going on, Jaleisha. I always forget to turn on my mute thing on YouTube. It's I don't have to do that with IG. So just in case y'all missed anything, I'm saying that today we're going to talk about the easiest way, the fastest way to get to $100,000 in a year. For those of you that are looking at trying to figure out how you're going to take your business and your life to the next level. And this is a proven case study. This is a proven case study that I have been able to master and my team have been able to master. And we made $18,690,683.90 last year. That's $18 million in the last 2 years, in the last 2 years with this concept that I'm about to teach you. So clearly we know a little bit of something when it comes to mastering what's called the back end. Now, contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of people who believe that sales, being in sales is the fastest way to generating or profiting $100,000 in a year. And although sales is a proponent of that, the truth of the matter is that most people in sales never make $100,000. And if you know anything about Dr. Jake, you know I don't like to deal in generalities. I like to deal with specifics and facts. And these are all things that you can go and study on your own. Okay? So yes, you do have the opportunity. If you are in the field of commission, which all entrepreneurs are in the field of commission, all entrepreneurs are in the field of sales, getting someone to want to purchase your service or your product. And to be quite frank, even if you had a job, you selling somebody and hiring you and they paying you, that is a form of sales in a way. So that's not necessarily true. I know a lot of people that are in the insurance industry, in the sales industry, that have never crossed $100,000 in a year. They're still striving to make just $100,000 in profit in a year. And so hopefully what I'm going to go over will definitely help you. And if you're in the sales industry, maybe some of the techniques and some of the things I'm going to teach you will kind of help you kind of change it. So let's back up for a second. Just so that some of you all can understand how long somebody has been doing what I've been doing. It's documented. Some of you have already seen, you already know, but this is for those that are new. I've been doing, no less than $30,000 a month since 26 years old. I'm 31 now. So that's 5 years of proven success in multiple industries, both offline and online. So I'm just putting that there so that we can kind of get the parameters that Dr. Jake has been winning for a very long time. And been making six figures since 24 years old, a year. Been making six figures since 24 years old a year. Right when I got out of college, I was already making six figures. So I've been making, six figures for 8 years since I left college. So clearly, and that's both, with a job in the normal world and the business world. So there is some context of a winner's going to win. No matter what industry that they're in. So if you are not winning and you're not making the type of money that you want to make, there are certain skill sets. There are certain skill sets that are needed that that you're going to have to master if you want to get over the line. Now, when it comes to making this elusive $100,000, a year, the first thing that you have to understand is that you must be the one that does the work. You must be the one that does the work. Okay? And this is what I want. This is what I want to tell you, especially if you're in an industry like sales, like insurance, like commission. A lot of times, what we like to do, we like to delegate the work to people who have lesser skill sets, and you wonder why you cannot get the result that you need. Number two, you got to understand that statistically, based on the industries, professional services have the highest conversion rate out of all of the industries. Their conversion rate is 9%. The nearest conversion rate is the healthcare industry at 5.8% conversion rate, which lets us know that it's easier to get a sale when you're doing some type of done-for-you service. It's easier to get the sale when there is some type of done-for-you service. Okay? And yes, I got my notes. I got my notes here because I want to make sure that I stay in alignment with you. And so what a done-for-you service is, it's almost like a consultant or like you're working a job, right? They're paying you to do a specific job. Now, in the spirit of everyone wants to be some type of coach or strategist where you don't do any of the work, you just give the advice. One of the biggest things that you have to understand is that you cannot ever be in that position if you've never been in a position of actually getting the job done for someone else. And so there's no amount of research that you can do that's going to give you the same understanding of an industry as experience will. So depending on the industry that you're interested in, or depending on the industry that you've been a part of, will determine what industry you should start and provide a professional service. Now, when it comes to a professional service, when it comes to a professional service, what we have to understand, what's up, what's going on, Namaya, what's going on, Shali, what's going on, Australia, what's going on, Venom. When it comes to a professional service, a lot of us got to understand the skill sets that are needed in today's age. A lot of us got to understand the skill sets that are needed in today's age. What are the skill sets that are needed? There's a hyper infusion of hyper employees. There's a hyper influence on people who want to be self-made and that don't want to do all of the work. So the opportunity is there. So when you talk about organization, when you talk about sales development, when you talk about product development, being a launch specialist, learning how to run, advertisement, learning how to do people's social media, listen, everybody's in the world of Airbnb, the service of Airbnb. There's a skill set called sanitization, learning how to sanitize these Airbnb locations, because most of these people don't really know how to keep, there's a lot of different skill sets that can be mastered so that you can provide it as a service. Okay, so a lot of people are learning these skill sets only to sell it as a course, not realizing that you can get more money doing this. Now, mind you, this means that you must become a back-end warrior or a back-end specialist where you master the back-end. No, Rodolfo, we're not talking about insurance and private banking. My platform is bigger than just insurance and private banking. I'm going to address that later on in the day. But if you want insurance and private banking, you should probably go watch my video from last night. That's a start. Now back to the point of the show. So for those of you that are trying to figure out how to get yourself to the next level, you got to start assigning yourself to some type of skill set. Now, when you talk about skill set mastery, absolutely, Rodolfo. When you start talking about skill set mastery, a lot of us are trying to get in business selling products when the easiest way to jump in the game is to offer a service. Now, Jake, what exactly do you mean by offering a service? Very simple. If you charge 100 people $1,000 to do something specifically, that's $100,000. Now, that means that the service that you're providing has to exceed the value of $1,000 to make them want to actually pay you $1,000. So, what are you saying, Jake? Okay, you cutting grass at someone's house is worth potentially at max $100, $200. At minimum $25. That's not enough of a pain point to try to solve to be able to charge something like $1,000. Does it make sense? So clearly the skill set we must master has to be a skill set that has more than $1,000 worth of value in order to position yourself to be able to make the type of money you want to make. Now, $100,000 in a year is that's 100 people getting charged $1,000, or it is 9 clients that you have for a year that pays you $1,000 a month to do something specifically. You see that? It's either one-offs. I'm helping one person at $1,000 throughout the year, or I'm helping 9 to 10 clients at $1,000 a month that can ultimately make me the $9,000 a month that I need to cross over the $100,000 a year mark. Okay. So now when we talk about becoming a back-end warrior or understanding this construct, now the question is, what type of value can I bring someone? What type of value can I bring a customer? What type of value can I bring a client that can enlist them or excite them to make them want to pay me $1,000+ a month to do a specific job? Now, I do want to give you context. When we do consulting for clients, they typically pay us anywhere from $15,000 to about $30,000 a month to do what we do for them at minimum. One brand even paid us over $100-something thousand a month to run their back end because of our specialty and how broad we can actually help the brand or business with the specialties and the departments that we have within our consulting firm. But you got to figure out what skill set that you want to master so that you can enlist that, and what industry that you want to subjugate that skill set to. Okay? So, skill sets. Some of you say, well, if you get into sales, it's easier to make $100,000. No, it's not. But if you get into consulting, it is. Now, Jake, what exactly do you mean by sales and consulting? See, someone who is consulting somebody actually cares about the value that that client is getting. Someone that's typically selling somebody just want to get something for the commission, just want to sell for the commission. So when I changed my mindset of being a salesperson to consulting and providing a service to somebody, after I figure out what their true pain point is, it was easier for me to be able to grow and sell the offer, service, or whatever that I had. So skill sets that can be valuable to the marketplace. Copywriting. Now, Jake, what is copywriting? The ability to convey. Jaleesa said, consulting has definitely made me more than actual sales. Let's say copywriting. Say you have the ability to write. You're really good at writing. Well, this is what a lot of people don't understand. The ability to write is a skill set. Learning how to use words that are in written form to convey emotions and getting people to want to move and get something, purchase something, or acquire something is a skill set. So using that skill set as a service, for an example, most businesses that have been learning how to be on social media, your entire brand is on social media. Most social media entrepreneurs' entire brand is on social media. Which means if the social media platform collapses and you got to start getting famous on another platform, you're going from platform to platform and you don't have a house where your brand is associated with. Why is this important? Because outside of social media, people don't know where to find you. So when your platform gets shut down, you're not getting the attention that you need. People don't know where to naturally go. So if you are a writer, one of the skill sets that you can offer a business is writing their blogs for the business, depending on the industry. Now, Jake, what you mean write blogs? Well, what y'all don't know is that blogs, every time you write a blog on your website of your page, most of y'all don't write blogs. Every time you write a blog on your page, Google looks at your website and gives what you call more weight to your website. Which means when you write a blog on your page, Google scans your page to figure out what your page is about, and they rank you based on the amount of content that you have about a specific topic on your page. So when you're only using your website as a place for people to go and purchase, you're actually losing weight for Google to rank you to get people to want to come to your site and know where you are. When you're driving traffic through advertisement, you can drive them to your blog. You can drive them to your page to learn more information. So when people are trying to find you, find your services, or find information, they can actually go and find it on your site or on your page, the content that you're delivering. So if you have the ability to write, You can offer that service to entrepreneurs that don't have that on their pages. And you can learn the keywords. You can learn tag words that you can write within the blog and help with the search engine optimization, which makes the company a lot more weighty on these sites, which allows their brand to be seen more, therefore getting more off sales from not from social media, but from the internet. So while y'all are trying to sell books, I will be trying to sell my skill set of writing to help enhance a company's brand. Now watch this. Say you charge, I'm gonna show y'all what we call pay stacking in your contract. But say you start off by charging $1,000 a month to write 3 or 4 blogs a month, a blog a week for a company in a specific industry. A specific industry. And then you go to 9 other companies in that same industry and you write for those companies. Now you went from trying to sell your book that nobody's purchasing to using your skill set of writing and write these blogs for 9 companies in the same industry, charging each $1,000 a month. So how much is that? That's $9,000 a month that you have from writing 4 blogs a month for 9 different companies. So that's 36 pieces of content that you write. Now, when you're in the same industry, you don't have to write different blogs every time. You can write one blog. Then you can use certain tools online that can rearrange your blog and your written work. So which you can take the same content, explain it in different ways using tools that help you re-explain or rephrase on 9 different company sites from the one main blog that you wrote in the same industry. Say you do what's called a listicle. When you say, here are 9 things, the first company, you say, here are 9 things that you need to take to the next level. With another company, you may say, here's the top 3. With another company, you may say, here's 4. With another company, you may say, here's 6. With another company, you can say, here's the number 1 thing. You can take that main one that you wrote, broke it down in a multitude of ways. You are the writer. You're the author of the blog. So you have the opportunity to be able to mix it up as many times as you can. Do y'all see that? But if you don't understand the power of your skill set, you're going to be trying to write a bunch of books and trying to independently sell it for $20, $30. You're working harder than smarter. And then later on, I'm going to show you how to stack it. Stacking it is, okay, the first 3 months is $1,000 a month. After you see the value of the blogs, and you see the traffic and the retargeting, and the amount of brand increase and sales increase, I'm going to bump you to $3,000 or $2,000 a month. Let's say $3,000 a month if you're really good. Let's say $2,000 a month if you're really good with 9 different companies. You went from doing $9,000 a month to $18,000 a month for the same amount of blogs with the same contract. Because in your contract, you did what's called a pay stack. After 90 days, it's going to increase. After the second 90 days, which is 180 days that you're with the company, now you're going to raise it to the value that you're bringing that specific company. It may be, let's say, $3,000 a month. Because at first you get paid for your time. Then second, you get paid for the performance of your ability. And then third, you pay people that can go get the job done. Y'all see how that stacks? So at first, yeah, you're paying they're paying you for your time of the blogs. Now, after you get the analytics of your blogs working for the company, now they got to pay you on the performance. So now if that's $3,000 a month, the same 9 companies, 9 times 3 is what? $27,000 a month with the same amount of companies that you're working with. What's up, Patricia? Do y'all see how easy that is to stack your way to seeing success financially? That's just copywriting. What if you have the ability to run paid advertisement and you're good at paid advertisement? I see so many people like, yo, Jay, I just rather teach a course. I don't want to be responsible for people's results. Let me tell you something. The higher the responsibility that you have for the success of someone's brand or business, the more money or opportunity that you have to make more money. Here's one thing that I'm beginning to see. A lot of entrepreneurs today, we got all of the proven strategy on us mastering a skill set, but not so much proven strategy that you want to enlist it as a service to prove that you can get the results. Because here's the thing that people are failing to understand. That if you are as good as you say that you are, it's easier for you to just do it for somebody than to just coach somebody and say it's on you. So the opportunity to make more money is a lot higher, but the responsibility of producing is also higher. In true people that know what they're doing, we want to be paid based on our performance, not just you purchasing something from us or the time you spend with us. Y'all got it? So, if you're good at advertisement, paid advertisement, marketing advertisement, what I would suggest to you, I would suggest that you start enlisting that, get real good at it, and enlisting that as a service. Enlisting that as a service. Somebody came over, they said, let me see. On IG, they C4053919 said the fastest way to 100,000 is to become the middleman in a transaction deal. That's your opinion, but I got an $18 million case study to prove that maybe my way is the right way. Or a more preferred way for me. If you have the ability to do graphics, what I would suggest, a lot of you graphic designers do a bunch of one-off deals. A lot of you graphic designers do a bunch of one-off deals. So you're living check to check. as you're offering your professional service. What I would suggest to you is to develop another skill set that makes that customer turn into a client. So there are 3 layers. Let me go to the board. I wasn't going to go to the board. So there are 3 layers of clientele. There are 3 layers of clientele. Bobby Shaw says, so are you saying that when you offer your services, you provide a performance guarantee? If I am consulting them, yes. Being a coach and a consultant are 2 different things. Being a coach and a consultant are 2 different things. There's a lot of people that are trying to be coaches thinking they're consultants. A coach is somebody that gives you advice and then tells you to go and do it yourself. That's a coach. I create a course, I coach you through it, you figure it out. A consultant is somebody that does it for you. So my coaching clients, you can't really offer a performance guarantee for a coaching client when you don't know if they are doing everything step by step. Now, if you have parameters with your coaching clients that state, and this we're getting off topic here, but let me address this, that state, if you do all of these things for this length of time, and you have a documentation of you doing it, and you do not get the result that you desire, then there's a performance guarantee. But if you aren't going to go all the way above, there's typically no performance guarantee. Performance guarantee are more suitable for consultants. Now, when I talk about consultants, remember, I'm not talking about coaches. I'm talking about people that do the job for the client. So a customer, if you're on YouTube, you can see the board. If you're on IG, unfortunately, you're going to see it backwards. Now, when you first get started off, you got customers, clients, and partners. Customer, you get paid to do the job or maybe for your time. So for a customer, you get paid to do the job and you get paid to do the time or for the time. Customers. That's generally how it goes. So in the business that you're in, your goal, you want to turn customers into clients and clients into partners. So, say for an example, I got this skill set of, say I have the skill set of product development with a specialty as a launch specialist, which means I'm very good at creating products, vetting products. I use Dr. Jake's caps list to find the value of the client. I know how to test the product. I know how to make sure the product works. And I'm a launching specialist, which means I'm very good at launching products into the marketplace, generating great results. See, if this is your customer, you're going to charge them for the product development and the strategy for the launch. But if this is your client, you get paid off the performance. So you may say, product development, yeah, you got to pay me to develop the product. But when it comes to the launch specialist part, I'm going to get 10% of your launch. So this you may have gotten paid $2,000. This you may get paid $10,000 for the same work. So now, if you're a launch specialist, you get paid 10% on the launch. Guess what? Now you're seeing them as a client that's going to have an ongoing relationship with you. Because if you're a launch specialist, you know that when you launch a product, it is an ongoing thing. The process of launching a product, a lot of you believe that the process of launching a product is just the first time that you introduce the product to the marketplace. That's not what launching is. When you're launching a product, you launch and you launch and you launch and you launch and you relaunch that product, even the new updates of that product. For an example, every year, Apple relaunches another form of the same product, right? Tesla does the same. And so forth and so forth and on, right? All of these companies are always relaunching the same product, just with a couple of updates. So when you go from just dealing with them as a customer, you help them product development, usually give them a framework, and then you give them a launch plan, and you say, go figure it out, pay me. But if they're your client, you say, hey, listen, I will charge you the product development, but I want to get paid on the performance of the launch that we do over and over again. And as a partner, you get so good, they offer you equity, and then you don't charge them for the launch anymore, the product development. You just get paid on the rev share or profit share of the launch. Do y'all see the evolution of that payout? So customer, you just providing your job. Okay, you come to me for product development. I'm in a launch strategy. Here you go. Client, okay, I am going to do product development, but it's ongoing. But you don't have to pay me for the launch strategy because I'm going to help you launch it every single time. I just want 10% of it. Here, you're not helping them launch it. You're just giving them the strategy. But as a consultant, remember, performance specialists, not performance specialists, people who offer professional services as a service where you're doing it for your client. You're doing it for them. You have a higher probability of being able to make more money on the back end if you are doing it for your client. So versus telling them, here's the strategy, do it yourself, you're going to say, no, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to give you the product development. We can product development this thing, but I'm going to do it for you, and I'm going to do it for you ongoing. So this is something you never have to worry about. I just want 10% of the launch. So if the launch did $200,000, you make 20 grand plus whatever you got paid to help product develop. Which I'm sure if they're your client, you're going to be getting paid something $2,000 to $5,000 a month as a retainer. This, you probably charge them one time. This, you're getting paid consistently plus that. And then when you become a partner, you're getting equity plus the profit share of the 10%. I see so many people that start businesses trying to be the face of their company. When I'm just telling people, start a professional services consulting company. Not a consulting company. Not a consulting company that sells courses. I'm talking about a servicing company that actually services their products for their client. Adrian T. Cooper asks, can this work if you offer your services to nonprofits? What's your service? Grant writing? What's your service? What's your service? What's your service? Until she answers that, Brooklyn Black said, where is the entry point for new people? Learning a skill set. Learning a skill set. Adrian, strategic planning to do what? That's too broad. Adrian said, can this work if you offer it to nonprofits? Then she said her service is strategic planning. Strategic planning is too broad. Strategic planning to do what? So, for the people that's new, you're like, man, Jake, I'm just trying to figure out. I helped them create the plan to meet milestones. Too vague. And I would assume, because that's general, it's still too general. It's still too general. So we're doing a live study, right? Adrian said that she does strategic planning. I said that's too vague. She says I help them create to meet milestones. Too vague. She said and get to specific outcomes. Still too vague. Langerson said, you sharper than you were last year, and I'm sharper than I was the year before. That brother cold. That's still too vague. Adrian, this sounds like an admin. So when you are presenting this and positioning this, you probably can't charge what you want to charge because this sounds like admin work. So, y'all ready to use this as a case study? Y'all ready to use her as a case study? We're going to use Adrian as a case study. We're going to use Adrian as a case study. Adrian said that she definitely don't want to be considered like an admin, and she's definitely not getting paid what she feels like the value of that position is. Now, first and foremost, when you're providing some type of professional service, you have to first ask yourself, what are the biggest needs of this industry? So if she says, hey Jake, I really like strategic planning, I love helping people create the plan that meets the milestones and specific outcomes. Well, what's the number one problems in the non-profit industry? That's right, Rave 2004 on IG said, obtaining funding. This is the main driver. This is the main driver of nonprofits. Obtaining funding is the number one problem. The number 2 problem in nonprofit organizations are staying compliant so that they can retain funding for the next year. These are the 2 biggest pain points. So when Adrian is saying, I'm a strategic planner. Let me move this here. When Adrian is saying, I'm a strategic planner, I help them meet milestones in specific outcomes. To tell you the truth, Adrian, if your focuses are not on these 2 main problems in the industry, you're never going to get paid what you believe that you're worth. And everyone will see you as a overpaid admin or an accountability coach. And anybody that has a generalist, professional services service, you're going to get general pay. Because there's not a specific outcome. So I'll give you an example. When people come and use our consulting firm, one of the 2 things we focus on are operational efficiency and revenue driving strategy and implementation. Those are 2 focal points. One is to help them make money. The second is to help them save the money, which makes them more money. So when people are hiring us and they see our contract is $100,000 plus, they sign the contract. Why? Because they know that we're solving main points. Now, could they go online and get somebody to just help with SOPs? Because there are people that, offer services of, I'll help you with your SOPs. I'll help you organize your business. But they're too general. I'm solving a specific issue, and we have a grading system that helps you see how much money you're losing based on the opportunity. And if we fix these things, the cost of this fix and the structure of it. When I'm able to specify exactly what my skill set will drive for them, which has to be money focused, whether you're saving them money or making them money, when you can drive on that, you can charge what you need to because you know that you're making that company money. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So Adrian said, at its core, one of the reasons they're struggling with those 2 problems is that they haven't developed the focus. Yeah, that should be a part. That should be a part of your strategy, but that should not be the strategy. Adrian said, thank you, Cousin Jake. This is gold. Somebody else giving me a case study of what you do, so I can help one more person. But Adrian, I'm not done with you. So Adrian said, okay, the reason why they're having this problem is because, this is what she said, y'all. She said it's because at its core, one of the reasons that they're struggling with these 2 problems is that they haven't developed the focus. So this is what a lot of people do. You'll go in and say, hey, I want to be your accountability coach to keep you focused on your goals so you can make more money. That doesn't entice me to want to hire you. That doesn't entice me to want to pay you top dollar. Because I'm like, you a life coach? I'm not hiring no life coach. But if you were to say, hey, listen, I'm a strategic planner. If you were to say, hey, listen, I'm a strategic planner and I help you create the plans to meet the milestones required for you to get the funding that you need to run your nonprofit organization, or create the plan to meet the milestones of staying compliant with the funding that you have and the funding that you want to get so that you can retain the funding and get new funding for the next year. Of course, inside of that offer of what you do It's simple to understand that you keep them focused, but if you don't have that specificity, or if you don't specify in exactly what the result or benefit will be, then you can't get paid what you're worth. So now let's go. Now let's go. Now let's go. Let's go here. Y'all ready? Now let's transfer. Let's transfer her. We're gonna transfer her. Now we're going from customer, client, partner. How do we make this transition? Who Richard said, Jake, you the realest, Jakey. Appreciate that. So how can we transition you, Adrian, as a funding or compliance specialist or strategist now, with me turning you into I turned you from a strategic planner to a funding or compliance strategist. Do you already see the difference in that weight? ATL said, Jake, I didn't understand business in depth until you broke things down. Come on now. DeMonte, what you mean creating rollouts and platforms? What that mean? Adrian. Funding and compliance strategies is totally different. Hey, everybody on social media that's listening to this podcast right now, doesn't being a funding or compliance strategist, doesn't that sound a lot more compelling than strategic planner? A lot more compelling. It's a lot more compelling than just being a strategic planner. So everybody on IG, what I want you to do right now, go to my YouTube. This is about to end on IG. Go to my YouTube. It is Jake Tayler Jacobs on YouTube. Get the rest of this live training on my YouTube. Go to my YouTube right now. Jake Tayler Jacobs, Jaketayler Jacobs. The same way my name is spelled on IG is the same way that it's spelled on YouTube. I'll see y'all on YouTube. I'll give y'all some time to transition. Alright, so now, Adrian, funding. Why funding? You're either going to help them find funding or compliance. Now, you being the strategist, you can determine what that strategy is. Now, you may say, hey, you know, you may say, hey, I'll take, my job is to create milestones that we're supposed to hit to keep us on track of funding. So I want to create you a strategy in order for you to make sure that we qualify for funding. So now watch this. If you just remove this, Adrian, now you're a funding compliance strategist. And your job is to make sure that they stay compliant enough to qualify for the funding that they're looking for. So this means you're going to have to develop skill sets, or you may already have them, that you know what it takes for a company to look funding ready. For a nonprofit to look funding ready. Now when they look funding ready, as a customer, guess what you do? This is typically a one-time deal. I want to get you funding ready. And I want to set up a plan so you have milestones set. This is typically one time or one off. When they become a client, they're paying you some type of retainer monthly. When they pay you one time, you typically give them the strategy and you walk away. But when you want a retainer, your job as a funding compliance strategist, you're doing it for them. And because you're doing it for them, and they're not doing it themselves, now you're going to add an incentive that says, if I help you get funding based on the goals that we have, if I help you get a certain amount of funding, I want a piece of the funding. That's a skill set. Funding compliance strategist. Now, in order to become a partner, you got to have a skill set that's second to none. Say you learn from getting them funded, making sure they're compliant. You become a master at this, so you know what grant funders want from the grant writers. Now you become grant writer certified, making you partner quality. And now you just work yourself in a deal. Don't even pay me a retainer anymore. I want 10 to 20% of the funding. I'll do the rest. Adrian, do you see how it went from customer to client to partner? So this is why I tell everybody, try your best to get here quickly. Let me do it for you. I got this. This is totally different, Adrian. You went from, I'm just a strategist, I'm a funding compliance strategist. My specialty is to make sure that I develop you the milestones, put the milestones in place that will allow for you to be compliant, focused, so that you can be funding ready. Right now you want funding, but based on what I have seen people get funded, and based on the nonprofits that I have worked with, you need your nonprofit needs to look like this under this category or sets. Now this what it does. It forces you to get better at your profession. This is where a lot of y'all mess up at. Some of y'all be like, shoot, I'm going to go start my own nonprofit and go get funding and run it. Hell no, I'm not trying to do that. I want to get paid specializing for someone else. Then after I mastered the skill set for a decade, 20 years, now when I roll over into my own nonprofit, it seems as though I got supernatural results or an overnight study when I've been studying how to perfect this craft of funding compliance, funding ready. Anthony Franklin, yes, we live. Funding ready. That's a total different sale. So the reason why in the nonprofit arena, Adrian, you may not be getting that. If you tell somebody I'm a funding compliance specialist, I'm gonna get you fund ready. You don't think they gonna pay you? Shit. They gonna pay. They gonna figure out a way to pay you. Amber said, "I'm here finally." Come on, Amber. Let me see some fives if y'all like the value that I just gave Adrian. Let me see. I'm going to do one more. Y'all, it's really easy to make $100,000 when you get out of not trying to do the work. You develop a high-paying skill set that can allow for you to bring value to companies. Y'all, before I created our own technology and our own products, y'all, I was a consultant specialist for insurance companies. Those insurance policies that we sold, they're not my product. But because I'm fully commissioned and because I'm able to negotiate my contract, the insurance company are willing to pay me to get them customers and clients. So I stopped running it like a salesperson and more like a consulting firm that was number one job was to get highly educated clients that understand the product of the insurance product I was trying to deliver so that my insurance company that I'm working with can get high value customers. When I made that transition, everything changed. Y'all like, share this content on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, so they can make sure it gets the ranking. Somebody say, is barbering a skill set? Barbering is a skill set, but it's not a high-paying skill set. It's not a high-paying skill set. Barbering alone is not a high-paying skill set. But when you transition to becoming a groomsman, now that's somebody that can put them fake implants in your head. Now that's somebody that can get blackheads out your face. That's somebody that can help you heal irritated skin. A groomsman is a high-paying person. I pay my groomsmen a lot of money every month. I pay my groomsmen like anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month. So, I want to answer this question. In case you all don't know, I'm only answering the questions from those that's in my Baknd Warrior community. So if you're not a part of the Baknd Warrior community, that's why I'm not answering your case study live. So if you want me to answer your case studies and recognize you, you got to be a part of the Baknd Warrior community, and I'll show you exactly how you can get a part of that a little bit later. All right. So, ATL Body Works. She said, Dr. Jake, my clients are spoiled. They don't want no one but me to service them. I can't continue working like this. It's not smart help. So the first thing a lot of you feel at doing, as you start doing the work and you become good at it, this is where a lot of us make our mistakes. We make our mistake because we don't understand the value stack. The value stack is this. The value stack is this. Originally, you trade time for money because there's no proof that you're great at what you do. After trading time for money, then you trade performance for money. So when people say, Dan, why you charge the way you charge? I charge the way I charge because I get results. So you're not paying for you, Jake. You only spend. Somebody asked me one day. They asked me, why do I charge $10,000 for an hour? They said, Jake, why do you charge $10,000 for an hour consultation? I said, well, it's really about an hour and a half. It's really about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But the reason why I charge it is because you're not coming to me for one-on-one time with Jake. You're coming to me to get a specific strategy that's going to produce you a revenue driving result. So when you're with me for 2 hours, yes, you pay me 10 grand from it, but you're going to leave with at minimum a $50,000 to $100,000 game plan that if you execute it over the next 6 months to a year, you're going to get 10 times your value back. And then as that multiplies, the value of that means you're going to continue to use my strategy and multiply on top of it. So the income revenue ability that you have on 2 hours with me is going to make you $100,000 plus over the lifetime of you putting that strategy to work. So no, you're not paying me for the 2 hours. You're paying me for the result them 2 hours is going to bring you. Do y'all see the difference? So, in the beginning, it's time for money. Come in here, and do this, blase. But then ATL Body Works. You work with ladies that had surgery or need sculpting, right? ATL Body Works, right? You work with people who had surgery, who had sculpting, right? So, the last phase, while she's finna type, the last phase is money for money. I'm going to tell you what that means. Time for money, you don't have a lot of results. You kind of just, you're not documenting, you're lacking on results. Whatever. Performance says, I know what my work produces for you. That's why the price is up, and I have too many people who want to work with me because I'm the best at what I do. Now, the fourth is money for money. Now, a lot of people, when you think about it take money to make money, you're talking about the construct of just investing in the stock market. But the truth is it's not just money for money. Your money that you make is supposed to pay highly qualified staff to do the service, and that's going to produce more money. So ATL Body Works, as you've been in the game for a while, you should be at this level right now and no longer just time for money, right? You should be at this level right now and no longer time for money, right? So if you know it's performance based, when them ladies come to you, their bodies get right. When they come to you, their self-esteem gets right. And because the self-esteem gets right, it increases their productivity. If it increases their productivity, you've seen families, wives who come to you maybe with insecure with their body, but start to feel great when you start sculpting their body, which helps their husbands see them more. Now their husband's interested in them, and you save the marriage by helping that woman with her self-esteem. You see how when you start talking about performance-based, you got to have your facts to prove why your service is amazing? Shoot, girl, your body got right. You got secure in your body, and that security, it got you a job promotion because it increases job performance. You told me that you had depression. Now you off your depression pills. Because when you look in the mirror, you happy with what you see. So the reason why your clients don't want to work with anyone else, ATL Body Works, is because you're not selling the performance of the work. Whether I'm doing it or not, this is what you're getting. And me and my team can help you with that. Now, if they only know you to do the job, you have to be there to introduce them to your help, hand in hand. If your help is not introduced in the beginning, when you bring help, they're going to feel like you're just throwing somebody on them. That's why as you introduce people into your business, you have to You have to be the one that edifies them to your clients and walk them through. You talk them up. You're right there with them, talking to the client. You're engaging the client as you're making the transition to your help, while at the same time selling the fact that the overall reason that they're there is because your firm is the best at getting them the results here. But when you only think that body sculpting, but when you're working on the body sculpting, and you just like, hey, yeah, I sculpt bodies, I can snatch you up. That's not something that, girl, when every client that I snatched up, it saved their marriage. Shoot, girl, I can snatch you. I can help you because why? It's going to bring you more confidence. When you look better, you feel better. When you feel better, you do better. You do better, you perform better. So I not only can snatch that up, you're going to walk into that job feeling a little bit different, because we all know that when we're not comfortable in our body, our performance in life is a little bit under. You see that? Now you're selling them on the performance of what you do, not on the result of what you do in the performance, not just on I'm doing the work. When you can do that performance, it changes the game. Okay, so that's the last one I'm going to do today. For those of you that are interested in our $18 million case study, where I show you a blueprinted case study on how we made $18 million by being the back end of brands, and how you don't have to be the face. Go to see that case study in the description below in the video. The link to that case study, baknd.io/free/case study. Get on that, because through that case study, you're going to figure out how to become a back-end warrior.